Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Second Cup of Coffee. Pastor Tom here with you. We are on week 3 of our series, Bend in the River. Last week, we talked about the bend that needs to be in us, because if we're rigid in our understanding, it can break our faith. I'm not going to rehearse that. Go back and watch it. Share it with somebody that it might mean something to. I want to talk to you about how you move forward. This is a little more theory. Week 4, when we have our conversation, and it'll be way more practical, but theory only in the sense that I'm drawing it out of the scriptures, and the scriptures aren't theory, but until you apply them, they are. They're life. That's a sword that'll cut me soul to spirit, soul from spirit, and all of that. But if I just read it but don't take it, and it doesn't become flesh, it's theory. Verse 15 of Acts 21 says, "And after those days, we packed and went up to Jerusalem." After what days? After the days where they tried to convince Paul not to go to Jerusalem. Verse 14, you heard me say it a couple weeks ago. "So when he would not be persuaded," he was going to Jerusalem. So there's a bend in the river. We ceased. We ceased trying to persuade him, and we changed what was in our mouth. We changed from persuasion to, this is the end of the verse, "the will of the Lord be done." I'm going to relax into the bend. I'm going to let the current of God take me to where he wants me to be. I'm not going to try to swim against the current, because I may just drown in my disappointment, my anger, my resentment if I do that. So what do? I pack to go to Jerusalem. What am I packing? Faith. 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 Faith is the things hoped for, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I don't know what we're going to face in Jerusalem, but I have faith that the river of God is taking us there. And it says this, "Also some of the disciples from Caesarea went with us, and brought with them a certain Mason of Cyprus, an early disciple with whom we were to lodge." I'm taking faith with me. I'm also taking community with me. If not physically, I am taking them with me in my phone. 21st century, not Bible. These people are the ones that they were staying. We're not just going to stay here. We're going to go with you on the journey. Bring those people, or be one of those people. If somebody in your circle, your church, your family has hit a bend in the river that they weren't expecting, be one of those people who travels with them. But bring with you faith. You got to cease from, "Don't go." You got to cease from, "I can't believe God did." You got to cease from, "Why is God letting this happen?" You don't need to be that person. They already have all those questions. You need to be the person of faith. Now, faith isn't just no practicality. Faith isn't, "Hey, I just accept and believe everything." Faith is somebody who is the evidence of what God's going to do. So when they call you, you don't necessarily have to preach to them. Just say, "Hey, we're going to keep going forward because God's going to do something. God brought you here for a reason." Now, mind you, Paul's in chains. Paul's going not to Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, he's going to be put in chains, and he's going to end up in Rome. But he's going with the expectation that not everything here is going to be good. He's going to end up in chains, okay? But you can't, when he ends up in chains, go visit him in prison and say, "I told you so." What am I bringing? I'm bringing faith, and I'm bringing people with me. I'm bringing a community to encourage, and I'm also bringing provision. They brought somebody who had a place for them to stay. Be the practical faith. Show up with a dinner. Show up with a Starbucks card. Show up with some money. Whatever it is, be the practical faith in people's lives. They don't always need the answer from you. They just need to see you show up, and maybe you have a practical encouragement for them. Not out of your mouth, but out of your heart, out of your wallet, out of your provision. Change a tire. Change some oil for a single mom. I don't know what it is, but be the practical faith that they need in their life. Because sometimes the greatest blessings to me are not the people that have the prophetic words, but the people who act prophetically by showing me the love of God, by just showing up and giving the little that they have. Relax into the river. Let God do what God's going to do. See what happens, but take the trip with them, because you may be the provision that they need when they get there, at least for the journey, or for part of the stay, or for whatever part yours is. Let's be the community of God in people's lives, because I've been around long enough to know the bends in the river happened. And when the river bends in somebody's life, let's be those that help keep them from drowning. We love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If this meant something to you, share it. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on our app. You can find us on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. And if it meant something to you, share it. We love you and God bless you.